How big of a win could the Morton match become in the run-up to the end of the season?
Well, listen, it's hard to say right now, and hard to evaluate what them 3 points will mean come the end of the season. But when we looked at the fixtures prior to the Partick game, you look at two really difficult away from home fixtures. We got a good point against Partick. We felt we should have won it in the end with the chances we created in the second half, but we took a lot of belief from that into the Morton game. Morton obviously had their defeat on the Saturday against Inverness, but prior to that they were 16 games unbeaten, and Capello has always been a difficult place to go anytime I went there as a player or as a manager. So we knew how tough it was going to be. Very well organised team. Dougie Imrie's done a fantastic job with them, and you're going to have to stand up and be counted, and that's why we went with the team selection that we did. We brought Grimshaw back in at right back to give us a bit of physicality in the back four. We went with three really experienced midfielders in Docherty, Sibbald and Tilson, and I think that's the reason why we won the game, because we were able to win those individual battles all over the park. And then Tony Watt does brilliant out on the left channel to provide a great cross for Louis Moult, and that was the decisive moment in the game, and that was the one that managed to get us the all important 3 points.
And how important is it to get a winning run now?
Yeah, it's crucial. I mean, if ever there was a good time to go on an unbeaten run, then now is certainly the time, with one last round of fixtures to go. I think the players will take a lot of confidence from the clean sheet on Tuesday night. It's our first clean sheet for a wee while. It's the first time we've scored the opening goal in a fixture for half a dozen games at least. So all of those things are really crucial at this moment. Keeping clean sheets are vital. Defensively, we've been very, very good, particularly in the first half of the season. That last maybe 7-8 games we've been a little bit inconsistent, but hopefully now, off the back of Tuesday night, the players with that determination and that togetherness that they showed to get through the game, I think that will stand us in good stead for another difficult game on Saturday.
And how difficult do you think Arbroath are going to make it coming off their win against Raith?
Well, we certainly won't underestimate them. We have had 3 very good positive results against them in the recent fixtures, but we will show them the utmost respect. I think Jim McIntyre has done brilliant since coming in. The result and performance against Raith Rovers was remarkable, really, given the way the opening 20 minutes, half an hour had went for them. But it just shows you the strength and character that they've got within that group. And when they got it back to 2-1, you're thinking they might nick a point here. But the fact that they were able to go on and still believe that they could go and win the game, great credit to them. And for that reason, we won't be underestimating them. We'll prepare as we always do, professionally. We'll be organised, and hopefully put a team on the park that's capable of going in, taking all 3 points again.
There's a lot of expectation on United. How confident are you in the team that they can hold their nerve throughout the rest of the season and win the promotion?
The expectation hasn't changed really from the first game of the season. We know that every game we go into, we're probably favourites on paper, but that doesn't count for anything unless you go and be professional and show a right attitude and do the basics well, first and foremost. And that's something that I think we have done consistently throughout the course of the campaign. So the players are well aware of what's at stake. I think they can see a little bit of light now at the end of the tunnel. Obviously 9 league games to go, and we're in control of our own destiny now, and I think that's the most important thing. If we were sitting 4 points behind and having to chase, then I think there's a lot more pressure on you then. So it's important that we just stay nice and calm, remain positive. I think we've done enough up to now, but I asked the players this morning in the meeting, can we give more? Let's not be happy with just doing enough. How do we try and improve now in this last quarter of games? And if we do that, then we give ourselves a really good chance of achieving our objective.
And then going into the game against Arbroath, any team news, injury updates?
Everybody's fit apart from David Wotherspoon. This slight calf strain that he has just lingered on a little bit longer than what we had hoped. I'm not going to rush him for this weekend, but we are confident that he will be available for the following one.
Okay, thanks.
Most teams, Jim, tend to come to Tannadice because you're the big side, the title favourites. They know what you're all about. They know the attacking threat. they pack loads of men behind the ball. How important could patience be from the players and indeed the supporters on Saturday?
Yeah, I think patience is vital. Obviously we want to start the game well and start on the front foot and be attacking from the first kick-off. But you don't always get that opening goal in the first 15-20 minutes. Sometimes it can go deep into the second half, and I think that's the most important thing for the players and for the supporters, that we stick to our beliefs and we keep going. It's going to be a difficult game on Saturday because we know that every opposition comes to Tannadice. They are quite excited about playing in the big stadium. It's the best pitch in the country as far as I'm concerned, and I can hear opposition managers' team talks before a ball is kicked about staying in the game and frustrating the crowd and trying to generate a bit of anxiety, but we have to be bigger than that, and we have to rise above it. And the start on Saturday is really important. We started the game really well, really positively on Tuesday night, and we just need to make sure that we're in the same frame of mind on Saturday.
I'm sure you would love to see Dunfermline do yourselves a favour in the Fife derby, but you can't afford to even think about that until 10-5, can you?
Well, so we try not to focus on any other team. People will be speaking about the title race and everything else. As I said to you, we're in control of our own destiny now, and if we all stick together and do our jobs between now and the end of the season, then we can achieve what we set out to do at the start of the season, which is win the league. Raith's form against Dunfermline in the season up to now has been very, very positive, and they've got some good results against them. So law of averages would say that Raith are going to go and win the game against Dunfermline again on Saturday. So we just have to take care of our own business. We have to make sure that we do our job against Arbroath, and we don't ever want to get to a stage in the season where we're relying on other teams doing us favours.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
How difficult is it to raise the team, like you spoke about earlier on, from where they're at the moment to another level for these last 9 games?
I think there's a big emphasis put on the players from myself and the staff, and that's what we were talking about this morning. We have done enough up to now to be in the position that we're in, which is top of the table, but at what point do we keep pushing to try and just get, even if it's another 1% out of each other? How do I improve, how does the staff improve, and how does every player in that squad continue to try and push the bar between now and the end of the season? We can't be satisfied with what we've done up to now. We have to go into every game trying to win, trying to get maximum points. We've got 9 games to go, and I think that fear of failure is something that you hear a lot of people often speaking about, especially professional athletes. I think that fear of failure has got to drive you on and got to motivate you. We're very close to where we want to be right now, and we just have to make sure that we finish the job and get over the line.
Is it important to get the 3 points every week that you go out to get, rather than perhaps playing great looking football, get it dirty rather than being fantastic?
I think Tuesday night was a good example of that. Morton are a very aggressive team, and as I said, I love the way that they approach the games, and Dougie Imrie gets every last bit of energy out of the squad of players that he has available to him. But I think that's the biggest positive that we can take from Tuesday night, is that our players showed to the supporters and everybody that was there on the night how much this means to us, how much they care about the situation that we're in, and how determined they are to make sure we get this club back into the Premier League. And we can go into every game with these great ideas and these great patterns of play that we work on during the week, but sometimes the opposition does something a little bit different that stops you from playing that way, and then you've got to go into that plan B. And if that means just rolling your sleeves up, getting the ball forward early, picking up second balls and grinding out results, then we'll all take that as well. So if it takes another 9 ugly 1-0 victories like Tuesday night between now and the end of the season, I'll snap your arm off for that.
So far, the season against Arbroath, the defence have been pretty reasonable, not conceded any goals so far against Arbroath. Mm-hmm. But it's important to instill that to the players, that it doesn't matter what's happened in these 3 previous games. This is a different game altogether, and that realistically the 13 for and 0 against doesn't matter. It's this 90 minutes in the Civil.
I think the Arbroath players will take a great deal of confidence from from beating Wraith Rovers, you know, and I think they'll be coming to Tannadice with a feeling that they can cause an upset, and you know we have to be really wary on Saturday of you know not underestimating them. So you know I think Arbroath are playing for personal pride because of recent results against ourselves, but they're also fighting for their lives at the bottom end of the table, and they've got a lot of experienced players in their setup who have been there and done it before. You know, it's remarkable when you think about the job that, you know, Dick Campbell done with Arbroath as a part-time team to keep them in the championship for the length of time that he did, and now, you know, the job is on Jim McIntyre to do the same. You know, those boys have been there and done it, and they know what it takes, and they certainly won't be throwing the towel in. So all of those messages will be relayed to my players to make sure that we're up for that fight, up for the scrap, willing to go to battle first and foremost, and then hopefully when the game settles down we'll be able to impose ourselves on them and show the quality that we have shown in recent weeks and months.
So how frustrating has it been sitting on the sidelines, and how good is it to be back?
Yeah, it was obviously a frustrating time. Obviously I think one of the first games I was out, we obviously took a defeat to Morton, which wasn't great because that's my kind of game, and it's obviously up against a big physical striker and stuff, so it was disappointing, and I think it lasted a wee bit longer than what I expected. I thought it was only going to be about 4 or 5 weeks, it ended up being 7-8, so yeah, it was disappointing, but just glad to be back on the park, and obviously playing the 4 games in the last 11 days has been great.
And what's your reflections on the win then through the week?
I think it was massive. I think obviously we're coming under a bit of criticism for the way we've been playing and stuff like that recently, but I think it showed a good character. As a lot of people said, it wasn't the prettiest game in the world, but in the day it was all about getting the 3 points and going there and showing like the character that we had in the team, and I think we've done that.
And getting the separation of points on the table as well, how much motivation is that?
Yeah, it's obviously good. Obviously you don't want to be chasing, at the end of the day we were chasing and we've caught up, and now we've gained a wee bit of momentum, which is happy with, but at the end of the day Wraith have still got a game in hand to play. I could take it back to 1, we've still got to play them this season, so it's the pressure isn't off just yet, so we know we have to keep winning and we're going to try and do that.
And obviously Arbroath are coming off an amazing win at the weekend. What are you expecting from them?
I'm expecting the kind of game that we played down night against Morton. I think they're going to be fighting for their lives. Obviously they're down the bottom of the table, but it just shows you that they went out and beat Wraith 3-2, and it was a great comeback, and it showed the character that they've got in their team, so we have to be right up for it.
Declan, you're kind of on a hiding to nothing on Saturday, aren't you? Because if you beat Arbroath, folk will go, so what? If you don't beat Arbroath, they'll be quick to get at you, won't they?
Yeah, as I said, it's obviously it's one of the games we're expected to win, being the big club in the league, but at the same time Arbroath are fighting for their lives, and it shows that obviously they can win games by good character in their changing room. And obviously, as I said, when you seen their result against Wraith, nobody was expecting it, 2-0 down, they come back and win 3-2, so it just shows that they've got some good experienced pros in their team, and as I said, they're fighting for their lives, so it's going to be a really hard game, but it's one that we're looking forward to and one that we're really up for.
And I guess, although they're bottom of the league, you've got to look at the magnificent comeback from a seemingly impossible position against Wraith Rovers. They've shown that they can trouble even the best teams in the division.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously we've had some good results against them this season, but I don't think that's a reflection on the side itself. I know a lot of the boys that play for the Arbroath are some really good players. Michael McKenna, obviously Jay Bird up top, Leighton McIntosh, they're a handful, and it's going to be a really, really tough game for us, and we just have to be right at it to take it from the game.
You're a small but very dedicated and noisy band of supporters down at Greenock on Tuesday. This is your home game. How important is it that the supporters continue to help the team to build that momentum that they really need to get over the line?
Yeah, I think the supporters have been great this season, to be honest with you. Home and away, they've brought great support. Every away game they've brought great support, and every home game they've been there singing their hearts out as well. It's up to us on the park to keep inspiring that, and obviously getting that win for them. I think after the game you've seen the reaction of a few of the players, how happy we were to celebrate with the fans. So obviously our home performances haven't been maybe as good as what we've expected, but at the end of the day we're looking to rectify that this Saturday.
What do you think the issue is then at home? Is it that most teams come and they kind of park the bus?
I can't actually put my finger on it. Sometimes it just happens in a season where you've got better form away from home than you have at home, but at the end of the day it is different. We are the big team. Teams do come to shut shop, maybe look for the draw and catches on the counter, and it doesn't matter if you're Celtic, Rangers, Dundee United in this league and stuff like that. to beat 11 men behind the ball, it's a hard ask, and at the end of the day, these are good professional pros out there that will try to break down. They know how to do their job, and it would be disrespectful to say that they don't do their job well. So it is hard, but I think that is a factor that teams do come and they shut up shop, and that is hard.
And obviously Wraith are involved in the Big Fife derby at the weekend. How important is it that you just ignore that, just focus on what you do, and then anything advantage-wise that you can gain on top of hopefully getting a win against Arbroath, it's all down to what you do.
At the end of the day, it's always been down to what we do on the park. We've never really thought about Wraith or Partick or anything like that. At the end of the day, Wraith Rovers are having a fantastic season, there's no doubt about it. They've been absolutely excellent, and it's made for a good title challenge. But at the end of the day, it's always been about what we do. What they do on Saturday, that's we're fully expecting them to win the game because they've been such a great team this season. But we're just worrying about us and us getting the 3 points on the board, and if that happens and we can continue to do that throughout the season, we shouldn't have any problems.
Thanks.
How difficult is it to continually grind out results with perhaps not the best looking football compared to what it would be to play football maybe that the fans would be more admiring?
I'll be honest, I think there's been games this season where we actually have played some good football and we've come away with a defeat. And then obviously you see us against Morton the other night, they were out there for the battle, and we won the battle and we won the game. But nobody ever remembers like winning the game pretty or winning ugly. They just want the win. So, end of the day, I don't really think it matters at this stage of the season how you get the win. It's just getting the win at the end of the day.
That is the important thing, of course, the 3 points on the board to take you to the ultimate pinnacle, which is going to be league champions.
Yeah, exactly, and it doesn't matter, as we said at the start of the meeting, it doesn't really matter if you win it ugly, or you win it pretty, or you win it playing football, or you win it playing hoofball. At the end of the day, if you get 3 points on the board, nobody at the end of the season is going to remember.
How difficult has it been for yourself coming back and playing these 4 games in 11 days after that absence that you've had?
I thought it was actually going to be a wee bit worse, to be honest, because normally I need to kind of keep myself going to stay fit through the season, and then obviously missing 7 weeks. But coming back in, it's testament to the physios and the sports scientists here. They've kept me in really good shape, they've kept me going. As I said, after a week after my operation, they had me back on the grass, running, moving. So these 4 games, they have been quite challenging. I have been feeling aches and pains and stuff like that, but it's stuff that I just kind of have to get through. I've done that through my career as well, played through the pain barriers, and it's okay, and as long as I can do that and help the team, then I'm happy.
And the importance of leaving the previous results against Arbroath behind and facing up to them on Saturday, how important is that?
Yeah, we have to leave them behind because at the end of the day, it's not going to be the same kind of game. They're going to come here, they're going to try and make it hard for us. We know the kind of game we're going to expect, and as I said, they're fighting for their lives down there, and they want to stay in the championship as well. It's good financially for them, so we know that they'll be leaving everything on that pitch, and we have to do that as well because we're trying to win the league.